The much-anticipated summit between President Trump and North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un marks a major milestone in the diplomacy on the Korean peninsula. President Trump telling reporters Friday that all issues were on the table at the first meeting between the leaders, which is scheduled for Tuesday. Michael Pregent joins us now to discuss the political implications, the potential political implications of the June 12th summit. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Obviously, it's here and now. It's approaching quickly. Right. I'm curious as to your reaction as we head into the meetings on Tuesday. Your expectations. You're very intimately familiar with the Korean peninsula, and the discussion that we've had in weeks past is certainly different now because there's sort of a more pleasant tone, if you will, heading into Tuesday. So what's your reaction?
Well, I think this is a good first step. I've listened to a lot of the rhetoric that the president loses leverage if he shakes hands with Kim Jong-un. I think the Supreme Leader will lose leverage by shaking the hands of a 6'5" American president who is threatening military action if this falls apart, if this doesn't work. And listening to Lindsey Graham's words on keeping the military option alive. You have to have the military option alive. That's the hard power in order to make smart power work. And I think that was something that was conveyed to Kim Jong-un by Secretary Pompeo on his visit, basically laying out what it looks like, what our plan would look like to Kim Jong-un if we actually took a military option.
That's sort of what I'm curious about, because so often, and we've had experts on the show talk about what the conversations could look like. What does it look like for the two sides when they say they want complete denuclearization? Do they want it to be immediate? Do they want it to be progressive? Do they want U.S. forces out of the Korean peninsula? But I'm curious if things don't go according to plan. What is the backup plan?
Well, it's maximum pressure. You've heard the maximum pressure. Economic pressure, keep the military option on the table. And again, North Korea will only be as strong as China and Russia allow it to be or back it up. So I think, taking a cue from the Democrats saw how weak the Iran deal was. And now you see key Democrats saying that there should be complete dismantling of the nuclear program. Mm-hmm. There should be no incentives before concrete steps are taken by the Supreme Leader, and that there should be no sunset clauses. They should address ballistic missiles. So you almost have a united front for the first time on a nuclear program that you didn't have with the Iran deal. You have Democrats and Republicans saying they want to be very tough here on North Korea. And I think that gives the president leverage. When
you say united front, where and how does China play in that?
Well, China's...
Will we be hearing from them this week?
Well, I think we saw key meetings take place between Kim Jong-un and China's president ahead of this summit. And I think that is to give Kim Jong-un some leverage in these meetings. But again, if the president walks away, then that is not a bad thing. You can't make these concessions. You can't give them what they wanted. They wanted the Iran deal. Critics said that if we walked away from the Iran deal, it would lessen our leverage with North Korea. It's done the opposite. It's given us more leverage.
On the heels of the G7 summit, confident, more confident, impactful at all?
There's dealing with allies in the G7. I don't understand the bring Russia into the G8 thing without Russia making concessions in Syria, human rights issues, and other issues, the Crimea and Ukraine. But I understand Canada, I understand Merkel, I understand dealing with our European allies there. But I don't think that forces the president to somehow get a win here with North Korea and make concessions in order to have some deal to balance the criticism from the G7 summit.
Just from your life experiences, how surprised would you be if there is some major progress that happens on Tuesday?
I think that if there's not major progress, critics will say this was a failure. I think it's a good thing for the president to be there. And again, the meeting is Tuesday. There's prep happening tomorrow, and the president will not have that handshake with Kim Jong-un if it looks like this is all for show and Kim Jong-un is not serious about this. I'm cautiously optimistic, but what I will not do is support a bad nuclear deal with North Korea, just like I didn't support a bad nuclear deal with Iran.
All right. Michael Pregent, I'll get your name right the third time,
Thanks so
right?
much. No, appreciate
Takes me a couple times.